Jonathan Ames, in my opinion, has put together a remarkably interesting body of work, combining fiction and nonfiction, working in both forms and then blurring them in interesting ways. His graphic novel, The Alcoholic, came out a year ago, and he has a new book out, which includes a short story which is going to be the basis for an HBO series that will be premiering in September of this year. I'm very proud that he's chosen the website and this book to be the venue for some of his writing, and please give Jonathan Ames a warm welcome. Can I introduce a man whose resume I think stands alone in this park, if not in several square miles, as being someone who spent several decades working in the New York City Fire Department and now is a flight attendant on JetBlue. Please welcome the author Thomas R. Zeigler. The acclaimed novelist Rachel Cline, author of What to Keep and more recently, My Life. Vince Passaro, one of our best literary critics in this country and the author of a terrific, sprawling New York novel called Violence, Nudity, and Adult Content. Please give a warm welcome to Vince Passaro.
She found another obit. This one was crazy about me. Those were good days. I had my apartment on 15th Street. I had my little dog. He didn't like the dog. Did you have an affair, I asked? Not really. He just liked to be near me. I didn't screw around with everybody. These were men who stayed, but I didn't play it right. I screwed my life up. How so? I had offers to live on Fifth Ave. I had wonderful chances. I was too, not pious, too righteous. Now look at me. Are you saying a man would have taken care of you? Sure. Why would I be a mistress to him if he didn't give me a car, an apartment? I wouldn't have to live like this on a couch. These were wealthy men, not salesmen. The mistress sometimes gets more than the wife. Don't you know that? We looked at the clippings for a while longer. I wish I knew some of the people I used to know, she said. And then she put everything back in the envelope. But how come I can't stop thinking about her? Like me with the people in here. She squeezed the envelope. But you have to go on without thinking. If you can't work up a veneer around your heart, you'll wind up going to a psychiatrist and throwing your money away. Know what makes a person strong? You have to take failure.
The iPod lay there on the floor of the tracks. The tunnel was dark and quiet. My knees were a little loose, like those of someone about to jump off a diving board. New York is a vertical town. The emphasis is on things that rise. But the New Yorker's panic-stricken need for accomplishment, the need to go up, is matched by a kind of vertigo that comes with being constantly aware of the distance below. It had always been rats, the third rail, and garbage that provided that space, with its faint air of horror, but it turns out that the most powerful feeling while I was down there was simply being lower, almost beneath everyone else. I looked up and saw a lot of knees. I wanted only to rise. Back on the platform, I brushed myself off. An older woman, well-dressed, looked at me as though I were the Loch Ness Monster. You get it? Yelled the man in the wheelchair, still shaking his change cup. Yes, I yelled back, and I thanked him profusely for some reason, and pushed $10 into his cup. Perhaps for giving me courage, even if it arrived via shame.
For firemen, there is nothing more startling than a verbal alarm. The riotous banging of fists on the firehouse door. It can sound as loud as a stampede of buffalo trying to crash their way in, and it only has one meaning. Something dreadful is occurring just outside of quarters. I am prepared to start CPR, but when I open my mouth, I discover it is filled with leaves. Covertly pointing at the agitated mob behind him, he tells me, "We're not doing it for her, we're doing it for them."
That night in 1980, I set out for that party flanked by my mesmerizingly hip girlfriends, and wearing lipstick and as little clothing as possible, I planned to reveal myself to Eli as the mysterious and petal-strewn road not taken. Steph and Christina had at first balked at the idea of a party at someone's parents' house. We were still young enough that seemed socially untenable. But I promised them it was cool, and the house, with its interior balcony, strange overgrowth of plants, and menagerie of dogs, cats, and caged monkey, did not disappoint. Even better, our friend Josh coincidentally turned up, along with his army of bad boys from Washington Square. So there were rowdy boys, and loud music, and drink, and drugs, and animals, and plants, and room to move. We started slam dancing, and eventually broke a fair amount of glass. Somewhere along the way, I wound up reclining against the back wall of Eli's boyhood bed and telling him the sloppy, drunken truth about my adolescent lovesickness. I told him how, in my journal every night, I charted the temperature of our interactions in a code known only to me. Pluses and minuses, arrow-pierced hearts. These spelled out the extent to which I had experienced eye contact, been smiled at, exchanged wise-asseries, or remained wrapped yet unseen.
These two phrases are ontologically different. The main distinction being that one is an incident or event while the other is a type of modern relationship. Booty call is a mid-'80s expression from a hip-hop beeper and baggies, hat and colors world. The phrase stands for any sort of kind of mostly uncommitted, laconically sexual, on-again, off-again relationship for which and in which, over the long run, if there's any real emotional engagement, attachment whatsoever, take my word for it, the woman pays the steeper price. 'Twas ever thus, as Mr. Bugs Bunny once said. Thank you.